And moving on now, the Supreme Court of India, in its verdict on pleas challenging the lockdown in Jammu and Kashmir, has directed the government to review all restrictions in place within 7 days. The court also said that internet access is part of Article 19, which is a fundamental right to expression. Well, the apex court further said that government will need to publish orders under Section 144 so that they can be challenged legally. It stressed that the section cannot be used in an arbitrary manner. The court said that security and liberty are at loggerheads, but the court needs to ensure that citizens are provided all rights and security. The court said that restrictive orders cannot be used to curb the legitimate expressions of citizens. The court said that complete curb on internet by the state must be considered an extraordinary measure. The court also said that indefinite suspension of services is impermissible and suspension can only be temporary. The curbs on the freedom of movement and the shutdown of communications and internet were put in place after the centre abrogated Article 370 in the erstwhile state on the 5th of August last year. The apex court asked the government to balance liberty and security concerns. Earlier, the centre had defended the restrictions, saying that they were part of preventive steps against terrorist activities in the valley. And well, joining us live on the show is the political editor for WION, Kartikeya Sharma. First of all, I'd like to ask you, of course, on one hand, this comes as a relief to the citizens of Jammu and Kashmir who have been on a clampdown. But on the other hand, the Supreme Court clearly setting precedents there to put in restrictions whenever there is internet suspension in any part of the country here onwards.
I think there are three aspects to the decision of the Supreme Court. The first aspect is constitutional, whereby Supreme Court has said that the right to use internet for trade and communication is part and parcel of right of expression, which is fundamental right enshrined in our constitution, which is 19 clause 1 clause A. So somehow I would say that this is a very important judgment by the Supreme Court in the sense that they have connected a modern technology which has changed the shape of the planet to a fundamental right which was conceived way back in 1947-52 when our constitution was made. That's number one. Secondly, there are directions in this judgment. The directions are that all future orders under Section 144 in India, in which internet can be suspended, 4 people cannot stand together, these are older laws. I would say these are colonial legacy of modern Indian state. The state will have to put the order in public so that if a person feels that it is unjustified, can go to the court, which means that the orders under Section 144 in India have truly become legally permissible. So this will have an impact on all the high courts of this country. And third and the foremost aspect is that from now on, every 7th day, post abrogation of Article 370, the orders will have to be reviewed by the state. So now this will clear the way in terms of certain restrictions which are in place. So the order of the Supreme Court of India is very, very important in context of influencing the judgments of the high courts, the decision taken by state government, and the precedent it creates legally.
Absolutely, but the Supreme Court has not yet ordered for the ban to be lifted. Can we expect that to happen in the days to come?
I think Supreme Court was very clear, Nishchita. Supreme Court said that we need to balance liberty with security. The banning methods need to meet the proportion, and ban in extraordinary situation is okay, but in perpetuity or for indefinite period cannot be allowed. So court in a way has given a very balanced order.
Thank you, Kartikeya Sharma, for joining us with all those details. Well, there you have it, the Supreme Court going as far as to say that all the orders that have put in restrictions in the region can be reviewed, and if any of the citizens feel that it can be challenged legally, then they can do so.